Hi folks, it's Fay here, and I just want to check that this is all starting. Looks like it is. So hello everybody, it is Fay here from FayJohnstone.com, and today I wanted to share with you some inspiration, some ways for you to harness the power of plants. So you can see from here, I'm inside my office. I'm actually inside. Normally when I am Facebooking, when I'm live, when I'm recording a video, I like to be outside. I like to kind of have the power of the plants with me. And obviously it's absolutely raining cats and dogs outside, so that's why I'm inside, and that's what has spurred this video for you today, because I want to share with you some ways that you can harness the power of plants without actually feeling that every day you need to be like barefoot and hugging a tree, okay? Because obviously for those of you who live in a city, that's really impractical and that's just not going to happen. So here are some ways, and I'm actually, okay, this is my book, you'll be familiar with it by now, Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing. So I'm actually taking some of these suggestions from the Plants and People, Our Sacred Relationship chapter, which speaks to this beautiful sacred relationship that we have with the plant world. And so this is from a section which is called Bridging the Gap. So really the ethos of my work is about helping us bridge the gap between our world inside. As you can see, here I am now inside in my square room with my square windows looking out into the natural world, and actually we are very disconnected. So here are some ways which will help you connect to the natural world, harness the power of plant medicine into your life, okay, so that you can start to really come into alignment with the beautiful creative being that you are. So number one, which I have here, is using different herbs and plants to help us create sacred space. And so we can do this by burning bundles of herbs, like actually I have a whole drawer and it's just over there, and I'm like, oh, why don't I get one? So hold it there a sec. Here we are. So for example, this is me bundling together. This is mugwort, from obviously a very squished looking mugwort. So this is one of the ways which I will bring in the power of plants very, very easily into my space. So I will do it through burning herbs, and like I said, this is mugwort. I have some garden sage, some white sage that I've grown, some lavender, some rosemary. I really love to use plants which are native to me, plants that I can grow here and grow around me. Obviously we can go and buy generic smudge sticks and so on, but just be wary of those. There's no need to just buy something because somebody has told you it is sacred. It's really important to create a relationship with plants so that they are sacred to you. And obviously we can't always go around burning herbs. Obviously I like to burn herbs, and as I'm doing so, I'm inviting in the spirit of the plant, and I'll do a video and I can show you exactly how I do that. But sometimes we can't burn things. People have sensitivities, and I can't count the number of workshops that I have given where I've actually set off fire alarms and smoke detectors and so on, okay, because I'm standing there underneath with my big burning bundle of herbs. But also I'm just looking at stuff that's on my desk. So bringing into the natural environment, I've actually got a lovely essential oil roll-on here that I have on my desk with me, and it smells beautiful, so that's using essential oils. I also have a diffuser which is over there, in which I will I will actually diffuse them in water with the diffuser. So we can use different herbs very, very easily and adding them into our environment, and even actually having the aromatic plants around like thyme, rosemary, lavender. Those are some of my absolute favourites. Even sometimes if we have some flowers in the house, the scent will just really be with us. So that's a very easy way that we can actually call to the power of plants, by having them around us and helping us create sacred space. Another very lovely way to work with plants, and this is obviously what people generally think of as plant medicine, is herbal medicine. So that's, you know, the using the physical properties of the plant and the effects that they have on our physiology. Okay, so that might be taking herbal medicine or using herbal medicine for a different an ointment, or those sort of generic ailments that we might have in terms of herbal first aid and so on. And yeah, so my favourite way for that really is I always have my herbal infusion. Actually, I think at the moment this is my pu'er tea, which I'm really into at the moment, but often in the afternoon, because I don't want to take caffeine, I'll start drinking my lemon balm or my peppermint or nettle or whatever herbal infusion I am into. Tinctures, capsules, that sort of thing. There's absolute, I mean, herbal medicine is just so vast and amazing and wonderful. So yeah, if you've got the option, seek out a herbal alternative and try those out. So plant essences as well. Again, over there, or maybe I'll talk you through it one another time, but I've got my lovely apothecary, my homemade plant essences. So these are where I've sort of used capturing the vital force of the plant in spring water, and I preserve it with alcohol, and then I can use it as something that I put in my bathtub, something that I put in my drinking water, or something that I can make into a sacred spray, and I can spray it in my environment, again inviting in the spirit of the plant. So most people are familiar with the Bach flower remedies or the Australian bush essences, and there's just so many amazing or vibrational essences out there, pretty much for every single emotional upset that we might have. So if that's something that takes your fancy, then I really highly recommend it. And the great thing about those is that we can carry them with us so easily. And plant essences are usually pretty gentle and they work on the emotions. So there's generally no counter-indications with other medicines that you might be taking. Homeopathy, again, is another way of working with plant medicine. And really helping sort of, it works on the basis of like cures like. So there's a tiny element in each of the homeopathic remedies of the ailment that you're trying to cure, if you see what I mean. And again, most of those homeopathic remedies are plant-based. So I've mentioned essential oils as well, that I use in a diffuser, or I might use them, for example, in products that I make, or oils that I put on my skin, and so on. I'm a great fan of basically natural fragrance and working with essential oils rather than synthetic fragrance, because again, we've got that vital essence of the plant with us. So we can have that in our body products, we can have it in our makeup, we can have it in our hair products, we can have it in the room spray, the candles, and so on the air fresheners and everything. And obviously the essential oils have an amazing impact through aromatherapy on our emotions and our physical body. So yeah, they're really one of my favorite things to use. However, they are super concentrated, so I use them very lightly, and I really make sure to honour the spirit of the plant when I'm working with essential oils, because there is tons of plant material that goes into each of those tiny bottles, so they are not to be taken sort of willy-nilly, as it were. Take them with respect. Anyway, I've mentioned herbal infusions. Yeah, changing up. So if you're not a herbal infusion person, give it a go. I mean, for me, I drink my herbal infusions, but I also drink my coffee. I drink dandelion coffee. I drink tea with milk. I am the whole range of spectrum when it comes to drinking plant-based products. And so I don't necessarily say to everyone, oh, don't drink caffeine, because you see, caffeine is a plant. Okay, it's a highly processed plant, but still, when we sit down and have, if we've got like the caffeine addiction and we're addicted to drinking our morning cup of coffee, it's still a plant. You're still connecting to an amazing, powerful medicinal plant. So honour that connection when you have your cup of tea or your herbal infusion or your coffee, whatever you're drinking. Another way to connect with nature, and this is probably the one that you associate me most with, and that is sitting in nature, meditating, connecting to nature, so we can do walking meditation in nature, we can walk intuitively in nature, seeking an answer. We can sit and just be reflective, sit under our favourite tree, talk to the tree, tell it our story. We can sit with a plant, we can marvel at the beauty of flowers. As a former flower farmer, I just love flowers. I love flower arranging. I love the beauty of flowers. I love the fact that they are joyful. So for me, if you're able to actually bring flowers into your home, have them in your garden, or bring them into your home with a plant, or even if you're able to treat yourself to fresh flowers occasionally, that is a super bonus to calling in the spirit of those plants to help you. And again, my advice on choosing plants or choosing flowers, or even if you're for a friend or for yourself, just tuning into your heart and asking to be guided, and just noticing which plant or which flowers seem to be waving at you, because those are the ones that need to go home with you or need to be given to whoever you have in mind when you're with them. So I call in, you hear me saying I'm talking about calling in the spirit of the plants a lot of the time. So what I will do, so say for example I start to burn this mugwort, I will be calling to the spirit of the mugwort. I will be asking the essence, the vital force, the intelligence of this plant to be present, okay? Because even though you might be like, well that's just like dead plant material, hello, the essence of the plant is still within this. So I can call on the spirit of this plant and invoke it and ask it to be with me. And if you are in the practice of doing that, if you have a relationship with plants, or anything for that matter, then actually you can call on it to be with you, and you don't even have to physically have it with you. But I always do in rituals, in prayer, for example, when I need healing, when I need support, to bring, because obviously every single plant has a different quality, and it is able to bring different qualities to different situations. So if I feel, for example, that I need the love from the rose and that beautiful nourishment, for example, or if I need the strength of the oak tree to be with me on a particular day, then I will call to that plant in prayer and create ritual around that, so that that plant can be with me. So I don't have to be anywhere near an oak tree, but I can connect with it through prayer and intention, and the spirit of that oak tree can be with me. And for me, that is the essence of plant spirit medicine. Oh, hi Teresa. Oh, thank you. Big hugs to you too. That's lovely to hear from you. So hi, really lovely to hear from you, and thanks very much for commenting. So I've got a few more on my list here. So it's talking about plant spirit healing. That's another way that we can work with the plants, and that's really all about connecting with the spirit of the plant, which is what I have been talking about. And that's really where we're asking the spirit of the plant for guidance and for wisdom. And so what we do in that case is we will go into trance state or deep meditation. And some people can do that very easily. Some people will have people like myself help them to, or do it for them. And we're simply inviting in the spirit of the plant. We're asking for guidance, and we're bringing back wisdom and guidance from the plant beings, the plant intelligence. So that's really plant spirit healing. And what else have we got? Simple one here: growing your own vegetables, eating local vegetables, eating vegetables which are in season, which have been grown locally to you. If you can't grow your own, just really being aware of what is in season and what is not in season. And I know these days this can be very challenging, because if you live in a city, you can go to the grocery store, and we are so fortunate that we can get our hands on absolutely anything. Strawberries at any time of the year, and so on and so on. So just making some more conscious decisions about where your food comes from, because I really truly believe that food which is grown locally to where you are, or even your own, when you grow your own, you have a completely different relationship with it than food that you have purchased from elsewhere. But food which is grown locally to you has the vibration that you need. It's grown in your local landscape. it will be attuned to your energy, and it will give you more, I really believe it will give you more power, more health and more vitality than food which is grown miles away and gone through whatever kind of production processes it might have been. So for me, when people talk to me and they say, I really want to connect with nature, I want to get back, I want to feel grounded, I want to harness the spirit of plants, I want to just really understand all that. You know, yes, we have plant spirit medicine, yes, we can do shamanic ritual and meditate out in nature and go on vision quests and all these wonderful things, but really these basic fundamentals about living your life in right relationship with nature starts very fundamentally with the basics, like where does your food come from, what decisions are you making about your health and your well-being from day one, and how much are you really honouring the natural world. Okay, so again, and we can look at our behaviours like recycling and our purchasing things and those organisations that we support, and it really just goes on and on and on. But yes, so this relationship with the plant world, just it's incredibly basic, but where does your food come from, what have you chosen to eat, and so on and so forth. So and yes, if you can grow your own, even like a pot of cherry tomatoes, or have, isn't it just lovely to have a pot of fresh herbs in the kitchen? I just absolutely love fresh coriander and basil. They're just like my favourite things. So things like that, and getting to a local farmer's market if you can, or just really getting to know local growers and supporting local growers. That is the essence of plant medicine, really. It's the basic building blocks. So another one of the things really close to my heart is creating beautiful outdoor spaces and sanctuary for ourselves. So, and this, I'm so fortunate here because I have a beautiful garden with some incredible plant beings here, and it's much harder when you have a smaller space, but you can have lovely companion plants that you can bring indoors and have with you in your home. Even these days you can find ones like the succulents and the cactus, and they just, if you're one of those people who thinks, well, I don't know how to water a plant, I don't know how to care for a plant, I always forget. They don't even need watering very much, and obviously you can set timers on your phone. If you really think that you're going to be somebody who can't look after a plant, set a timer on your phone so that you know, I need to water and care for this guy. But yes, I love the way that we can work with plants and create beautiful sanctuaries so that they can support us for whatever we need. So for me, sanctuary means a place that I can be, that I can relax, that I can feel supported and witnessed and held, and is peaceful. And we can do this with plants. And if you are not able to do it personally by creating a garden because you don't have outdoor space, then find a local park that's near you, or a landscape or a woodland, or some place that fills you with joy, where you can connect with a tree, hug a tree, feel the bark of a tree, sit by a plant, smell the roses, walk barefoot on the beach, whatever it is that you are close to in your local environment, because these places fill us up, and it's really important. And many people think that because plants, hanging out in nature doesn't necessarily make you fit, it doesn't necessarily earn you money, and so on and so forth. They're just like, I haven't really got time for that. But really, it is the most simple, basic step as part of your health and your well-being, and not just for your physical health, but for that emotional sense of joy and expansion that we get when we are outside and we're breathing fresh air, and also that spiritual connection with the unseen that is there, that part of us, that higher consciousness, that part of us that actually understands nature intelligence and knows it is being witnessed by something so much greater than it. That's why it's really important to get out into nature and have a green space that you can go to. And it doesn't have to be on your back doorstep. If it's a few streets away, it might even be a favourite street that you like to walk down that's leafy, it's got or it's got gorgeous trees growing in it, or maybe it's one of those, everyone has a house that's near them where the garden is like immaculate, or these window boxes of geraniums just look so bright and beautiful, and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be a joy to live there? That person is an amazing gardener. We used to live above an apartment which had an amazing garden, so we were on the first floor, and we looked down onto this beautiful garden on a very normal suburban street where no one else made any sort of effort at all. But we were really fortunate that our neighbours beneath us were beautiful gardeners, and they got great satisfaction from tending their garden, and we reaped the benefits because we looked down on it and it was just incredibly beautiful. So find a spot like that. If you haven't got the resources to create it at the moment, keep dreaming, keep visioning, but find those little pockets where you can appreciate the natural world, even if it's like someone else has done all the hard work for you. So what else do I enjoy working with? Oh yes, other things on my list here were things like having your companion plants, which I've talked about. There are plants like peace lilies, for example. I don't have one in here, but I have one in the other room, which really help to purify our environment. So those are worth looking at. If you think, what does this space need? If it needs a bit of plant love, get some botanical illustrations. I think most of the pictures on my wall here are plant related. I often wear florals. I'm often inspired by beautiful botanical designs. Okay, again, this is another way of bringing plants into your life. If you've looked at my Instagram feed, it's just all plants. Because for me, they bring me joy, they make me feel happy, and I appreciate this beautiful inspiration that nature is constantly giving me. So find those plants, those places, those ways that plants can come into your life. It doesn't always have to be you sitting barefoot, out in nature. Make the plants come to you. Get your screensavers full of plants. Get your phone full of some beautiful uplifting images of the natural world that's going to make your heart sing. What else have I got down here? Oh yeah, and natural materials. So don't forget that if you're wearing a cotton shirt or your cotton sheets, and hemp, for example, these materials, linen, it's all natural materials. Okay, so again, honor the plants. Think of them as you're wearing them. Think of them, this is printed on paper. This used to be a tree. So just really start waking up to these actual connections that you have daily, these ways that plants are actually already in your life. So the spirit of the plants is already with you. We don't have to, fly off to Peru and sit in the Amazon and have ceremony to connect with plant medicine. It is already here. So just open that door of your heart and let it in and be grateful and know, oh, okay, the plants are with me. I'm sitting on a wooden chair, but this desk is wooden. Okay, there's a lot of other plastic or man-made materials, but essentially, and some people live, when I lived in Canada, our whole house was made of wood. So just start honouring and opening to those connections, and that is plant spirit medicine for you. And there are so many other ways I haven't even mentioned, so if I've missed something out which you like to connect with, then please let me know in the comments. So thank you for listening, and have a lovely day, and may the beauty of the plants and their blessings continue to flow for you. Okay, bye.